mynews.studio.
Deep in Brazil's Amazon, a tribe's 17-year fight ends with the government drawing boundaries. Can a single decree really shield a rainforest from bulldozers?
Today is June 16, 2025. Ellie, let's start with why this recognition of the Munduruku tribe's land rights matters. We're talking about 178,000 hectares, about the size of London, now officially marked as Sare Muibu in Pará. The Munduruku pushed for this for nearly 2 decades. Why did it take so long?
The process was slow because of legal hurdles, political resistance, and ongoing threats from illegal mining and logging. The Munduruku had to advocate at multiple levels, locally, nationally, and internationally. They even marked their own territory with self-demarcation, using GPS and traditional knowledge to map the borders while waiting for the government to act.
So on September 25, 2024, the Brazilian Minister of Justice finally issued the decree. What does this actually change on the ground? Does the decree alone guarantee protection?
The decree legally recognizes the land as Munduruku territory. That means any mining, logging, or infrastructure projects are now illegal without the tribe's consent. But enforcement is key. The government is now required to remove invaders and uphold the tribe's rights. If that doesn't happen, the legal status won't mean much.
What about retaliation? There's always a risk when powerful interests lose access to land. How are the Munduruku and their allies handling that?
They're using a mix of strategies. Direct action, like blockading the Trans-Amazonian Highway for 2 weeks, drew attention and pressured officials. Legal advocacy makes sure the process follows Brazil's constitution and international agreements on indigenous rights. They also mobilize the community, holding intergenerational gatherings to maintain unity. But ongoing vigilance is necessary, especially after the celebration fades.
Is there any threat from new laws? I read about Federal Law 14.70123. How does that play into this?
That law, passed by Congress, could allow new projects on indigenous lands if declared of public interest, potentially bypassing consultation requirements. It adds uncertainty. The Munduruku's victory is real, but maintaining those rights depends on resisting legislative rollbacks and making sure new laws don't weaken protections.
Does this win for the Munduruku have ripple effects beyond their territory? Are other groups responding?
Yes, the Munduruku's success has energized other indigenous movements in Brazil and nearby countries. It's become a catalyst for the Demarcation Now movement, with groups demanding faster recognition of their own lands. The victory shows grassroots action can shape national policy even in the face of political headwinds.
Let's zoom out. Why should someone in Berlin or Beijing care about 178,000 hectares in Brazil?
The Amazon is the world's largest rainforest and a vital carbon sink. Protecting it helps slow climate change and safeguard biodiversity. Indigenous stewardship has proven to be one of the most effective ways to conserve these ecosystems. So, the Munduruku story is a blueprint, showing that local advocacy can have global impact.
There's a lot at stake then. If these rights hold, the Amazon stays a carbon sink. If not, deforestation accelerates. Is there a lesson here for policymakers elsewhere?
Absolutely. Recognizing indigenous land rights isn't just about justice. It's a practical, evidence-based way to protect critical ecosystems. It raises the question, why aren't more countries following this model?
And for the Munduruku, the fight isn't over. Enforcement, ongoing advocacy, and legal vigilance are the next steps. Can they sustain this momentum?
That's the challenge. The celebration has ended, but the work continues. Their story shows that real protection requires constant pressure on authorities and unity within the community.
To sum up, Brazil's recognition of the Munduruku's land is a landmark for indigenous rights and Amazon conservation. But the job isn't done. Advocacy, vigilance, and enforcement will decide if the rainforest stays protected.
Thank you for listening. This episode was powered by mynews.studio. Try now for free.